they don't mind paying some indulgences on their war crimes and on their crimes against, our planet. That's nothing to them. They're already looting your pockets, every single day. So yeah, if Al Gore would it have been softer tyranny? Probably. Would we have had such dramatic fascist wars of aggression? Maybe not, but we would have had that nice Clinton era sort of tyranny that everybody's familiar with if they know about Waco, or if they know about Kosovo, or bombing Iraq just because he didn't want the press to talk about Monica Lewinsky for 5 minutes.
We also have to remember the Oklahoma bombing at the same time. And,
exactly. I mean, a major inside job right there. And, I mean, I'm glad that you brought that up, because we've got, John Doe #2. We've got a Ryder truck that completely erases half of a federal building. I mean, you can't put enough explosives into a Ryder truck to do what it did to that building.
Well, actually, I was watching a YouTube video, and the news of the day talked about the fact that there was 2 bombs that went off, and they actually found another bomb that was that they had to basically de-arm, is what they're talking about. But it just blew me away, because all of a sudden this thing gets pushed off the back. But quickly talking about global warming,
Sure.
What I'd like to know is that don't people realize the dinosaurs disappeared? So, according to Al Gore, did all of a sudden, the pollution that we're now putting out, did it affect our past and possibly affect the dinosaurs at the same time? I mean, what are these people thinking? The Earth has changed. The Earth does this all the time. We have climate goes up and down.
Climate change as something that happens naturally. I mean, it's a completely different issue from the pollution that we are contributing. I mean, I would love to see tougher laws regarding emission standards, and cleaning up things that we really that we really do contribute to, and that would be the best thing for everyone, because it's ridiculous. But they don't want to do that. If they actually had to, have cleaner air, cleaner water. I mean, let's talk about clean water for a second. We have sodium fluoride in most of the tapping water. Most of the tap water. I mean, these are issues. These are serious environmental issues that get right down to the health of John walking on the street and Sally buying her groceries. But yet, nobody wants to talk about that. Like, we have to be green by paying climate tax to a global government? No, how about we be green by buying local food, organic food, something remotely healthy instead of whatever Monsanto wants to kill you with this week.
Yeah, we had a guest on the past, Pono, who's from Hawaii. He's a Polynesian, and he's talking about how Monsanto is using Hawaii as a testing ground. It's so far away that people don't realize what's happening, and also Monsanto up here in Canada too. But getting to Canada, now I've talked to how dark Canadian history is, and you actually had a run-in with some people out of Toronto, and what happens is, because of your bad effect of here in Canada, I would like to apologize right now how you've been mistreated in Canada. And could you quickly tell our listening audience a little bit about how the Toronto police laid the boot to you?
You know what? It's not something that I wanted to get into, but you know what? Forget about it, because it's something that I should get into. Basically, what happened was I was profiled for being a young, urban white male. I gave a toonie to a homeless person for directions, having only spent 7 days in your city. And then I was approached by the finger men, if you will, or the undies, narcos, people dressed up kind of like me, and they arrested me and searched me without, any probable cause of anything. They found some plant matter, cannabis sativa, and after they took me to the station, they whooped my ass naked. It was ridiculous. I mean, I heard Canada was supposed to be some kind of nice place where you go and there's ganja bars and the vapor lounge, and that's all there. But then at the same time, any possible link to the drug culture, and they just want to beat it out of you if they can.
Well, over here in BC, there's an awful lot more of a climate that you would basically like. But at the same time, we have to remember.
I hear that.
With the Olympics coming up, did you hear what happened with Amy Goodman in regards to Democracy Now? She came across the border.
What was it? Is that she got stopped at the border, and then they basically just wanted to impress upon her the significance of never asking whether or not the Olympics was going to be a good idea or was going to threaten civil rights.
What they're afraid of her asking, where they're afraid of her finding out, A, any homeless during the Olympics can be picked up by the police, thrown in jail, or detained somewhere else. B, they're afraid that she was going to find out that the police are going to have the right to go into people's homes and seize any anti-Olympic banner or paraphernalia, and the people could face.
Isn't that nice? When the friendly Olympic, brown shirts come in and take your press equipment. I mean, Amy Goodman has basically become the center, the epicenter, if you will, of constant human rights violations and violations of the First Amendment that we have in America. When her staff was arrested, for being press at the Democratic National Convention. I mean, it's ridiculous. The North American Union, you can't deny it anymore. It exists. It's one large fascist enterprise that has no concern over whether or not people have a right to sit on the stoop and be poor, or whether or not you have a right to protest an age-old occultic sort of war game tradition. I mean, the Olympics on its face can be very nice for what it does, but behind the scenes, it's like you're saying, they're just gonna kick your ribs if you dare question it.
Yeah, and with that said, I just got my operator just notified me that we're running out of time. I wanted to quickly give you about 30 seconds to tell our listening audience, where your website is, where they can actually go to pick up your upcoming CD.
I'm easy to find. Everything is at Truth Now Music. So if you go to myspace.com/truthnowmusic, facebook.com/truthnowmusic, twitter.com/truthnowmusic, that's me.
And do you have any contact information just in case the listening audience wishes to ask you questions, because you're a very knowledgeable individual?
Sure. They could shoot me an email at truthnow420@gmail.com.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. This is Co-op Radio.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Co-op Radio 102.7 FM CFRO. Thanks to Kevin and Nat. This was a Monday Brown Bagger special. And until I talk to people in 2 weeks' time, have a great day.